Morning peeps, I'm back again and I'm doing an impromptu video this morning about moving the deadline because I've decided it's time. We had a bit of a campaign to get the deadline moved because I like getting involved in these type of things, and if you've been watching my videos you'll know that recently, or for the past couple of seasons in fact, a big part of it is my disillusionment with the amount of leaks and unfairness that currently goes on in the FPL environment. You know, it's not good, is it? That every week people are like glued to their screens in the hope of getting leaks, and people who live in different time zones, like myself, you're faced with a situation of either being at an unfair advantage or being forced to stay up half the night to kind of try and keep up with latest events, and that's no good, because you end up spending half your Sunday asleep because you've been tired, because you've been up all night, and the whole thing is very unfair, and some people were saying we should move the deadline to kick off, but that doesn't solve all those problems of people living in alternative time zones or anything. And when today we had that deadline at 6:30 p.m. British time, it it seems so much more relaxed today. There wasn't all that manic rush of people looking for leaks. People in alternative time zones can make their transfers at their leisure without having to do them 5 minutes before the deadline, because it really doesn't matter whether you're up or not, because there just aren't the leaks around to make it necessary to be at your computer at league time. And the other thing, of course, is that it leaves your whole weekend free. You can switch off, you can make your transfers, get that sense of relief because it's all done, and just sit back and watch the action unfold. And better for everyone. You could spend Saturday with your families or go and play your own sports, all that type of thing, without having to worry about FPL deadlines in the middle of the day and what FPL leak is up to, and whether he's giving people inside information and all that type of thing. So I went on to Twitter this morning, and I where are we, peeps? I just get my browser up so I can see what I'm doing. Where's it gone? Right, this one it'll be, won't it? I'll just check it's still on the OBS. Yep, you got it there. So here we go. So I wrote on there, I said they should have this deadline time every week, regardless of whether there is a Friday night match. The playing field is far more level, and it leaves the weekend free, not to have to worry about FPL. It seems perfect. What can be better than having a deadline at the same time every single week, so you're not going to miss it. You know exactly when it is, not a different time every week. And you can kind of plan yourselves around that, and it's after the team news comes out, so you get your team news on the Wednesday, Thursday, and you can sit back and think about your decision and make it at your leisure, whatever time zone you're in. And there'll be not so many leaks about. There might still be one or two, but hardly any. So we'll see what people have been saying about it. Here's Matt. I actually totally agree with this. Makes for a much better weekend and a fairer, leak-free platform for all FPL managers. Perfectly said. Exactly the point. Leak-free platform for all managers, not just ones that are living in the UK or who don't have a life and don't have other things to do on a Saturday. For everybody. All 10 million people. Here's Daryl Fantasy. He says, I've been saying this for years. Levels the playing field in so many ways, including people who aren't in the right time zone for leaks pre-deadline. Yet most want it at kick-off, which makes it worse. I've been told this is an English sport. Other country time zones don't matter. That's what they think, peeps. They like to think they've got an advantage over everybody else. And it's their game, it's their ball, they're taking it away, and the rest of us can get stuffed. Well, the truth is, it's not. It's played in England, but it's not an English sport. Most of the players aren't even English now, are they? It's a worldwide game. I've got it on the TV here in New Zealand. I can watch every single match live, which is probably more than people can in the UK because of broadcasting rights. We get all the matches. We're just as engaged as people. It doesn't matter what country you're in. We're all playing this game. We should all be equal and have an equal chance of winning that stress ball. Because believe it or not, peeps, it is very stressful. I'm going to need that ball at the end of the season. The way you lot are trying my patience. Anyway, fountain of misinformation. Been saying this for years. Got a good name, hasn't he? But he's been saying this for years. People seem to want deadline at first kickoff, which wouldn't make any sense in terms of FPL's number of site clicks. No transfer activity midweek, site crashing, etc. It could well crash if it's a deadline. The amount of people trying to get on all at once could create a crash. We've seen that before. I think 24 hours before and kill off the FPL dregs like FPL Tony once and for all, And that's a good point because we've got these leakers, ones that are setting up Patreons to profit from their leaks. They've got hold of this information that isn't meant to be in the public domain. They're shady characters and they're trying to profit off honest FPL managers, who obviously it's quite tempting to try and find leaks. If they're there, you're going to try and find them. It brings out the worst side in you. Well, moving the deadline takes away that temptation to mix with these people and everything else, and it helps to stop them profiting from their shady activities, which can only be good for the good of the game and good for everybody. I don't see any downside in that whatsoever, apart from the likes of FPL Tony. So it's all good there, I think. This is exactly what we want. And here's FPL Dragon, agreed, reduce the chance of leaks and shenanigans. Az has said he's a 6 p.m. meeting tonight, so I assume the cartel are in on it. Well, I don't know about that, peeps. My best mate Az, or my ex-best mate Az, after what he's been saying to me today. But that's another topic, but we won't go into that. But this here, I think, is a very good idea. Here's somebody saying, I couldn't agree more. And that's right. Here's somebody who says, Game Week 1 last year was the same deadline time as this week, and we got the Gabriel out leak. Well, that's true, we did. 24 hours before. But in general, it's going to stop. I'd say it's going to stop 95% of all leaks. And that can only be a good thing. I see very, very little downside. I don't really see any downside, to be honest, in moving the deadline back to 24 hours or to the Friday night kickoff. No real downside at all, because it's after the press conferences. Everyone's had all week to take in all their content and decide what they're going to do. And the only reason people want to wait until Saturday is for leaks and that, which we already know creates an unlevel playing field. So where's the downside, peeps? Where's the downside? Lost it, peeps. Right, and I was watching the last of FPL Andy's stream this morning. He didn't know what to do. Honestly, he was like a frozen chicken. He was like, or a rabbit in the road in the headlights. He was clueless, peeps. He just, without having the leakers in his ear telling him what to do, he was sitting there perplexed. He ended up rolling a transfer, even though his team's a shambles. He rolled a transfer because he just didn't know what to do. He hadn't had any leaks. No one was telling him what move to make, and he was struggling, peeps, struggling. So let's make it fair for everybody. Take these leakers out of the game, and it can only be good news. Anyway, peeps, I'm off now. I've had enough. I've got to watch out Prick Woods and Vardy and all these other people I don't like score lots of goals. And, so although it's nice and relaxing to get the deadline out of the way, it would be even more relaxing if I didn't have Leicester and Forest on my TV screen. Okay, so bye for now then, peeps, and I'll talk to you all later next week. So cheers for now then, and like and subscribe.